Okay, so we're doing more on 4-1, which are more inverse trig functions. Okay, so we're going to do the arc secant of, whoops, there really shouldn't be a space there. I made a space. Of -2. Okay, remember really that secant goes with cosine. I'm trying to get it to focus nicely. Okay, I am, yeah. Okay, so secant goes with cosine. So remember that secant and cosine, it's going to be 1 over that. So then we're going to change this to arc cosine of -1/2. Okay, since we're doing the arc cosine of -1/2, remember cosine are the x values. Try to find a -1/2 on here. And so 2 pi over 3 or at 120. Okay. Okay, and then remember, like, some of them were asking for either the degrees or the radians, so just be comfortable with either one.
With the bottom 10 equals.
Yep. Okay, and all we did is do a 1 over whatever that one was. Okay, because our calculators are not going to have the secants, cosecants, and cotangents in there either. Okay, so then we'll have a cosecant, if I can write, of not a negative, just a square root of 2. Okay, so the cosecant, the inverse cosecant of the square root of 2. So again, you're just doing 1 over that, which goes with cosecant. Sine goes with cosecant. So we're going to do sine inverse of 1 over the square root of 2. Okay, so those are different problems. So remember that there's no 1 over square roots of 2's on here. So what is 1 over the square root of 2 rationalized? So 1 over the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so that's really like the same thing as the sine inverse of square root of 2 over 2. That one's actually on our circle. Okay, and that's the worst part of some of them. You have to rationalize first. So the square root of 2 over 2, the positive version. Sine is a y. Y happens at 45 degrees or pi over 4. Okay. Or cotangent. Let's do a cotangent one. Okay, but then for an arc cotangent, tangent goes with that, so I'm going to do an arc tan. Flipping that, it's going to stay negative. Square root of 3, yeah. Okay, so where am I going to have a square root of 3 at? Okay, so remember that tangent is y over x. So where would the y be? So it'd have to be this guy over that one. Okay, because those are the only twos. The 30 and the 60 have that square root of 3 in it. So to get a square root of 3 on top, it would have to be that dude over that dude. Okay, but then you have to make sure that we get the right sign. And remember the domain or the range for the tangent. The range for the tangent is negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2. Right, so negative to positive, so we don't want to name anything down here without name it as a negative. Whoops, sorry, I can't even see my unit circle. I'm just like talking to myself, huh? Okay, so negative, so it'll be the 2 pi over 3. So it'll be the square root of 3 over 2 times -2 over 1. Yay, that gets us -3, and that happened at 120. Which is 2 pi over 3, or 120 degrees. But that's not between -90 and +90, so we have to use the 300 one, actually. So about 5 pi over 3, or 300, -60. I'm naming everything wrong. How about negative pi over 3? I'm trying to get it in the right domain or the right range, and I keep doing it crazy. So these ones would work, but your range of it needs to be between positive 90 and negative 90 for tangent. Okay. Okay, so it has to be one of those named in that that right side for tangent. There are some that you can totally just type in the calculator, so it's just pushing second whatever button. So those ones are okay. So like 65 looks like secant inverse of negative 3.44. Okay, remember our calculator doesn't have a secant button on it, so I have to do what goes with secant. Cosine goes with that, so it's cosine inverse of negative 1 over 3.44. Okay, don't forget to do the 1 over, and so that should be about the worst part of typing it in. Negative 1 divided by 3.44. Make sure you're in whatever mode it is you need to be in, so this gives us our answer in degrees, so it'd be 106 degrees. So just kind of read it. So it definitely doesn't want that. It wants radians. So go to radian degree. And so it'd be 1.866. And I'll write rads if I can fit. Whatever. I'll write whatever I can fit. Okay, so that's kind of what it would be like to type it in your calculator for the ones that says to use your calculator. Then there's a few more without using your calculator, and it is taking the function of the inverse function. So like what some of the questions look like is I have tangent.
You shouldn't put rads, because that's actually radiation.
What is radiation measured in?
That's just, it's radiation per second, like irradiation per second.
Okay, so like these are some of your questions too. So this one is number 75. Okay, so and it would be the tangent of arc cosine of 1/2. So you're going like you're doing the insidemost one first. So your arc cosine of 1/2. Arc cosine of 1/2. Remember cosine being x's. Where is my 1/2? That's at 60. So that's like you're going to replace this part with 60. And so then what's tangent of 60? And you can use whatever degree or radians you want to. Just make sure you're sticking with it if you're typing it in the calculator. I mean, like please don't just go type everything straight in the calculator, but I'm okay. Then I can do tangent 60. Tangent is y over x. Tangent of 60 then is the square root of 3 over 2 over the y over the x is 1/2. So the 2's cross off to just get the square root of 3. Okay, we've done lots of fraction flipping. Okay. So that's some of what those questions look like as well. Okay, if you're doing the sine of the inverse sine, you get the same thing that you put in, okay? So if I'm doing the cotangent of the arc cotangent of whatever number, 5, 100, whatever, you're just going to get that same number out of there, 5 or 100 or whatever one you need to use. Thank you. That's okay.
I still have it in my hand.
Deer is a world's smallest deer. They live in bamboo that gets to hide from predators. And
So it's kind of weird.
12,000 for all the classes, or the ones on.
I don't want to go have a pet.
Now I want you to do
Cats. That's kind of funny.
51
Just say rape cats. They're too fucking lazy.
through 103 odds, but I don't want you to just copy them. Please don't just copy them.
Why would we do
Sure.
that?